Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, got to spend some time with your families. And so while that was going on, the strange and mysterious things happening in our world have continued, well, on and off our world, should I say. And so I've got a couple of things to talk about today, as well as an update to an extremely fascinating story about this mysterious object tumbling through space that I posted a video on yesterday. Now, if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. But if you haven't, in a nutshell, very recently, astronomers detected something very strange entering our solar system. And after further analysis, they realized that it was definitely solid, it was moving extremely fast, and it was unlike anything they have ever witnessed in our solar system before. And what you're seeing here is what they found, which is this massive cigar-shaped object. I mean, that's all we know so far. It's an object that they detected speeding into our solar system from interstellar space. So this thing is coming from outside of our neighborhood, all right? It's not from around here. And quite frankly, they don't know where it came from. But what they have said is that they've never seen anything like it before. It's not a comet. They're saying it could be an asteroid, although they're not for sure, totally. And they've never seen an asteroid like this before. They have never seen something that looks like let's face it, a cigar-shaped ship. And why am I saying ship? Well, first of all, what you're seeing here is just an artist impression, okay? We don't know what the thing actually looks like. We know that it's shaped like this, moving very quickly, and we're never going to see it again. And what we do know is that it's red in color, and it has an extremely high metal content. And so that's basically what I summed up for you guys in yesterday's video. And now we have an update that is really blowing the lid off of this thing, coming from an actual mainstream astronomer who came out on Reddit and admitted that he and other mainstream astronomers like him are now discussing the possibility, the very real possibility, that this mysterious cigar-shaped object may actually be a spaceship of some sort. So according to this astronomer, who posted to Reddit under the name Andromeda321, said, and I quote, "I will never say this lightly, but we are, swear to God, actually discussing with some seriousness right now what are the odds that this is actually a spaceship, which I 100% assure you has never happened before in my memory with seriousness. Basically, the dimensions of this thing being so much longer than it is tall, combined with the no dust part, are both highly irregular details. Not so irregular there's no natural way to explain them, but irregular enough that this is definitely not your normal space rock. And unfortunately, we are not really going to get any more new data on this space rock. So I guess we'll be speculating about this for the rest of my professional career. The issue, though, is it is tumbling, and no thermal emission was detected. But there's no way that doesn't mean that it's the dead hull of an alien spacecraft from millions of years ago. My one colleague is arguing, and I'm arguing, that if you had a computer intelligence type beings, perhaps they'd go into a stasis for the million years journey that it would take to wherever they were going. And in my scenario, they were just using as a tidal slingshot, sort of how we slingshot probes around planets to save on spacecraft fuel. And so there you guys have it. That was the original post by a mainstream astronomer on Reddit. And since the post was made, we've had other astronomers chime in, with one stating, quote, "When I read the ratio of the proportions, what immediately popped into my head was, that sounds like an interstellar spaceship. A realistic craft might be powered by some advanced fusion reactor and travel close to the speed of light. While such a thing is way beyond our current engineering and industrial ability, there's nothing in our science that says such a thing is impossible." Another thing that is being pointed out is that if you were to build a spacecraft that was capable of such speeds, it is inevitably going to end up being very long. Because at those kind of speeds, every grain of dust hits your ship like a bomb. So a long, narrow ship makes sense. And you absolutely want to minimize the forward cross-sectional area. and so any realistic interstellar vessel is going to end up looking like a pencil. Now, one thing that's sort of throwing a wrench into the spaceship theory, as one astronomer points out, is that at this point, from what we've detected, the speed of this object tumbling through space is moving far too slow. But that this alone doesn't mean that it can't be artificial. Because again, we go back to the possibility that the occupants inside of it may be in a sort of deep stasis and on a very long journey. And so when they enter a solar system to save on fuel, they turn their propulsion apparatus off and go into this sort of tumble, then using the gravity of our planets and our sun to slingshot itself back out into space. And oddly enough, that's exactly what this object has done and is doing. And so this is extremely exciting news, seeing as that when I originally posted my video on this, I came out and said that the first thing I thought of was that this reminded me of some sort of interstellar spaceship, and now, just days later, we have astronomers coming out and corroborating that, or at least sharing my theory. So it's very exciting, very intriguing, and of course I want to know what you guys think. So post your opinions down below. I definitely think that this object, whatever it is, may very well be some massive ship that, if not in some deep stasis, maybe it's just some ancient ship that was left abandoned thousands or millions of years ago, and that has continued tumbling through space, solar system through solar system, galaxy through galaxy, and so on until the end of time. So I will post the link to the Reddit posts down in the video description. You guys go over and check them out. And before we go today, in other news, you've probably seen maybe a video or a news post. It's all over the web about this. Something is going on around the world with these mysterious booms, these loud booms that are being heard all over the globe, around the globe. And in fact, if you just go to Google and type in booms heard or mystery boom, you will get new report after new report about how something strange is happening and nobody can explain it.
App received an alert right after the boom happened. You can download a free version of the app in the App Store.
From our Cape Coral news team, a big boom caused concern and confusion last night.
The loud noise actually rattled homes in parts of the Cape. We know a lot of people went on Facebook with questions about what happened. NBC2's Ben Henry has been looking into this today. Spoke with people who not only heard this, but felt it.
Oh, to the core, as they described, also describing this as very intense, so much that it shook several homes. I spent the day trying to find out the cause.
On earth was that noise? That is the question a whole lot of people are asking in Lochbuie and North Brighton.
So they heard this very loud boom about 9 o'clock or so last night. Denver 7's Lance Hernandez talked to residents and to police trying to get some answers.
It was just like a boom and her trailer shook. And I was like, what the heck is that?
Like just a shake, it was like some of the stuff in my room visibly moved.
I thought the North Koreans were bombing us.
There's a lot of speculation about that boom. Was it related to fracking? Did someone crash? Lochbuie's police chief says they have no reports of property damage or injuries. He says he called the FAA and Buckley Air Force Base and was told they had no operations going on in the area last night. Today, people are weighing in on the police department's Facebook page, wondering if it's related to fracking or aliens.
We heard the boom and the house shook. And I went outside, thought somebody hit the house.
Shane Fusilier says the noise reminded him of the powerful sonic booms he heard growing up in Louisiana. We found this sonic boom online. We wanted to give you an idea what he was talking about.
And these terrifying, to a lot of people, noises have been recorded everywhere from the Middle East to the Midwest, with many being heard recently on the U.S. East Coast. The latest boom came to light this week, scaring residents in Alabama. And as of right now, we have around 64 other locations that have reported these mystery booms, ranging from Michigan, Lapland, St. Ives, Swansea, and Yorkshire. One local from Alabama recently described it as an incredibly loud boom that, quote, shook the entire house. With one Birmingham, Alabama National Weather Service spokesman saying that the noise could have been from a, quote, aircraft. However, people from all over the world have been quick to jump on this and saying, okay, name the plane. Name a plane that can cause sounds like this, shaking houses all over the world. And so the origin of these mystery sounds remains unclear. And so if you've heard something similar, or if you can add to the discussion on this, also put it down below. Happy Thanksgiving once again, and I will see you all back in just a bit.